This segment is sponsored by Elite Medicare Specialists.
The Medicare annual enrollment period is right around the corner, and we're joined today by the team from Elite Medicare Specialists, Joe Gregory and Tia Vango. It is so wonderful to see both of you. Thanks for making time.
Good morning, Jessica. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Good morning, Tia. I'm doing super well. Thanks for asking, Joe. You know, a lot of friends watching right now know that this can be a particularly confusing time to navigate. There are so many choices available in this Medicare process. And that's the beauty of Elite Medicare Specialists. Let's talk through that a little bit, Tia. The team really can help, but what is Elite Medicare Specialists all about?
So we are a broker agency licensed by the state of Virginia in healthcare insurance to help Medicare beneficiaries specifically with their options during annual election period and the rest of the year. We have about 17 agents that cover the central Virginia market, all the way from Fredericksburg down to Emporia, Virginia. We go out and we see clients in their home in most times, and we also now provide virtual and telecommunication services. So, you know, we help people with their options. We try and lessen that confusion. We have a lot of experience. Most of our agents have been with us for a few years. We have a combined experience of over 20 years in Medicare. We work with all of the major carriers available in the state of Virginia. So all of your major carriers, we partner with them and we work with them in the community as well as with their product selections.
A lot of folks are probably surprised to learn, Tia and Joe, that you have a choice in this process, that you can make these selections. So that's first and foremost. Joe, let's talk a little bit about the services that Elite Medicare Specialists provides.
Absolutely. There are so many choices, Jessica, when it comes to Medicare. Medicare is not one size fits all. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions. So I think the biggest service that Elite Medicare Specialists provides is helping the beneficiaries navigate those choices, helping them figure out what works best for them in their situations. Just because your sister or your spouse has a particular plan, that doesn't mean that plan is going to be a great fit for you. So Elite Medicare Specialists really digs down with the beneficiaries and finds out what the needs are of each individual, and that helps them navigate Medicare during this time, during AEP, and during the rest of the year as well.
And that is key because this makes it a more personalized experience. You're right. Just because so-and-so had a certain product doesn't mean that it fits for you in that same way. Tia, the annual election period starts October 15th. It's important to look at this once a year. What is the best words of wisdom on when this should be examined?
So annual election period is October the 15th through December the 7th. Let me start by saying that Medicare Advantage plans renew every year, and with that renewal comes changes. So the plan that you have now with a Medicare Advantage plan may be slightly different January 1. And so if you're not looking at the information that's coming from your carrier or you're confused about that information, that's when you need to talk to a professional, because we know the difference between this year and January 1. We know those changes, we're educated on those changes, and we can advise you about those changes and how they're going to affect you individually. That being said, what I find is that we are so accustomed to shopping rates for our homeowners insurance, our car insurance, but once we get into a healthcare product, and that's whether it's a Medicare product or a healthcare product like we might have, we just kind of stick with it. We don't ask questions. We don't go back and review it. We just keep it. Well, every year there's going to be a slight change in your Medicare plan, and you should be reviewing those changes to make sure that there's not another product out there that might fit you a little bit better, just like you do with your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great words of wisdom, because you shop those choices, you have options. So you want to make sure that you're thinking of this the same way. In the little bit of time that we have left, of course, the world is so different now as we enter this annual enrollment period. What changes should we be aware of for COVID-19, and how are you meeting people where they are? What's the best way to connect with the team?
Joe, go ahead and take that one.
The best way to connect with the team during this COVID, all the challenges that are presented by COVID, we have telecommunications, of course, in virtual Zoom meetings and things like that for anybody that has that capability. But for the individuals that do not have that, because we are dealing with a senior market and all of them aren't as technically savvy as some of the younger generations, we will still go out and meet them in their homes. Of course, practicing and following all the CDC guidelines, that 6 foot spacing distances, mask, face coverings, gloves, and hand sanitizer. All are going to be a part of every agent's kit as they go out and meet individuals in their homes. We normally would be doing community meetings and church visits and things like that. But of course now large gatherings aren't permitted. So we will be doing them via social media, internet chats and things of that nature.
And just to piggyback on that really quick, the meeting people where they are, that's our logo. A lot of the terminology that the carriers talk in insurance jargon is hard for people to understand. So what we do is we translate that information into layman's terms. We make it so that when you talk to one of our broker agents, they are advising you and they are making sure that you understand the concepts that they're explaining to you before you're making any sort of decision. And so that's what's really important here.
Absolutely.
Well, and
absolutely.
very comforting too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Joe. Very comforting too to know that you can work with a specialist that can help you navigate and understand in the way that you are most comfortable with. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll share all the information so that you know how to connect with elite Medicare specialists.
Medicare annual election period is October 15th through December the 7th. For more information, elite Medicare specialists, on them, you can give them a call at 804-898-3404. Visit them online at EliteMedicareSpecialist.com. And you can find them on Facebook.com/Elite Medicare Specialist. And please stay tuned because we're going to be right back.